My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Slay the Spire. It's time to do a seeded silent run, not Ascension 15. Go away, Ascension 15. That is to say, a silent run where I provide you with the seed on which I am playing. I don't think it's this. It might be this. The seed will be in the description down below, so you can check that out. It might be that one right there, but I don't know. We'll see. Alright, another try, don't mind if I do. Now, upgrade a common relic, upgrade a common relic, lose all gold, upgrade a common relic. Just a combination of all of the first ones there. I'm probably gonna go for upgrade a random common, upgrade a random common, I said it again! Obtain a random common relic, there we go. Because the Silent has a lot of garbage cards, and I don't want to lose all my gold and transform 2 cards into garbage cards. Ooh, Jutsu Bracelet. That's a really good one to get early. Regular enemy combats are no longer encountered in question mark rooms. So as a result of that, like, my pathing should just be as many question marks as I can get myself into. There's a 4 elite path. Oh, baby. Alrighty then. Using the keys to manage all of... Oh, that's a really good opener. Using the keys to manage all of my attacks here. For funsies. But also because it's, like, way more efficient. 2 attacks, please. There we go. Pick up a block potion and a dagger spray. Alright, we are now much more effective against an a boss. Remove a defend because against most elites on the first floor, having defends in your decks, specifically as the Silent, is a negative, because you need to keep up the aggression against the Lagavulin, otherwise you will lose the DPS race, because Lagavulin has inevitability on its side. But also, you need to not play skills, especially unupgraded defense, against the Gremlin Knob. So removing them in the early game when you plan to go for a lot of elites is quite a high priority. This is a totally fine opening hand because I've got 2 strikes and a survivor in the next one. Alright, I didn't need to take 1 damage here. I could have just waited a turn. It's my bad. I actually really like Cloak and Dagger. I just think it's a super strong card. Still gonna take it. Shovel! You can now dig for loot at rest sites. Oh, maybe. Now, this fight is gonna be rough. We are gonna need to be all aggression, and we are gonna lose a lot of HP in this fight. Just get prepared for that reality. Using a block potion would only defend me for... would have only defended me for 8 the turn prior, but I got a full effect 12 defense from it for waiting another turn. Awesome. Just need to keep the aggression up here or I'm going to lose the fight eventually. Well, hell yeah. We actually got some really good draws there. We always got neutralized on the right turn. We almost always got Cloak and Dagger on the right turn. We got Dagger Spray on the right turns. When our opponent was defending, we had aggressive cards rather than just defensive cards when our opponent was defending. We had a really good draw in that fight. Letter Opener. Every time you play 3 skills in a single turn, deal 5 damage to all enemies, and... I could take a backstab here. Go a wee bit more aggressive. Yeah. I like the aggressive decks for this character, I gotta admit, I really do. See, if I go here, it's possible I get a relic. If I go here, I'm going to get a relic. Probably shouldn't have done that, right? Yeah, because I've got a lot of elites coming up. Oh boy. Just starting to think maybe I should have rested there. And by starting to think, I mean definitely feeling. Thankfully, Orichalcum is actually a ridiculous pickup for us. Like, really great pickup. Strawberry, raising max HP by 7, as well as a Dex Potion for gaining 2 Dex. Malaise is really good against the Lagavulin. Old coin, gain 300 gold. Okay, if I can survive this fight, we can actually have a ridiculous floor here. This is going to be like all risk, all reward, but this is a bit rough. Okay. Well, we do want to play 3 skills this turn, right? Because we're definitely playing the Survivor, and we're probably playing Cloak and Dagger anyway, right? So we also play the Defend, because then the Letter Impotent does 15 damage. Okay. If I do this, I actually maintain my perfects. Thanks to Orichalcum. Sure. Depends on our draws here, but we might actually maintain this. Hell yeah. Oh, never mind. Took 2 damage in this fight? That's pretty damn low. All things considered, this is a really good Sentinel fight for us. Blue Candle, Curse Cards and Nappy Plate, as well as a Fire Potion. Could take a die as a bit of aggression for us. Now we've got a difficult choice. Do I dig? Do I dig? Tiny chest, gain 30 gold, you're 10% more likely to find treasure in question mark rooms. I'm not even going to go to the shop. Oh, this is all so risky. All right, let's take a golden idol. I'm going to lose max HP here rather than anything else. Yeah. I could have put into Curse Injury in my deck, but I don't actually want to pick up curses at this point because I still have to play them the initial time I get them, right? So what I'm going to do here is wait for my malaise and then cast that before I start fighting. Cool. All right, next turn actually has some real good aggression in it. Okay. So enemy only does 5 damage this turn. Thank you, Orichalcum. Orichalcum is entirely why I am capable of currently doing this, by the way. Just in case you're wondering. Why we've suddenly become so fine for fighting elites, despite everything I've said before this point. It's Orichalcum. Shouldn't have played that, actually. Would have gotten more defense from the Orichalcum had I not. The Specimen, whenever an enemy dies, transfer all the poison it has to a remaining enemy, and a bunch of other cards in there. I'm not going to take the second Cloak and Dagger, because it actually interacts negatively with my Orichalcum right now. Weak Potion will work. Is this a defensive deck? I don't think it is. I think this should be an aggressive deck. Right, now I should rest before I go into the final fight. As much as I want to just upgrade that malaise instead, that really relies on just not huge likelihood of stuff working. All right. All right, probably going to have to follow up with Weaken this turn. Never mind, we got the malaise. Nice. Thank you for the free block, video game. We don't really have any ramping damage here. So I'm very much just relying on getting occasional good turns. Because this enemy is going to go out of control. I'm still technically perfecting. I'm probably going to throw the weaken potion this turn. Yeah. Now we've got a lot of burns in our deck. We really need more damage. We just don't deal enough. Yeah, we're going to start getting hands like this where I have to play a defend a lot earlier than I want to. There I've officially taken damage, and yeah. Now we're dying to the burns. I suspected this would eventually happen. I just didn't really have enough aggression in this deck. Like, if I fought any enemy that had inevitability on its side as well, or rather had inevitability on its side, because we don't have inevitability on ours, we were just going to die. Yeah, that's us gone. That's okay. So resting before the boss fight there was, you know, still correct. It's just unfortunate. What also could we have done there? We also could have gone with the specimen. No, we didn't really get that many options. If we dodged this boss and instead went for this shop, we might have picked up something. So what I should have done is looked at the top, gone, okay, do I have the ability with this current deck to kill the Hexaghost? Because I knew I could kill the Elite, but the Hexaghost was actually going to be a problem. Would I have killed any of the elites? Any of the end 4 bosses? Probably not, actually. That was a huge mistake. This is a mistake I actually make quite commonly, not looking at who my end of floor boss is and figuring whether or not my deck can actually kill them. Yeah. Like, we had some damage, but like after Backstab, Die, and Malaise are gone, you know, we've basically got a basic deck. All right, let's try that again. 5309. Let's actually quickly have a look at the... Okay, 5309. That's actually the seed. Right, so instead of... I mean, I could still put them in the description down below. It's probably easier to copy-paste than just read out. Damn it. I'm trying to reduce the amount of work that I actually have to do per episode. All right, the seed is 1854598607623941122. Another try. Don't mind if I do. Same choice I had last time, in fact. Actually, no, this was upgrade a card. Upgrading a defend and a survivor is not that bad in the early game. It's actually quite good. It's gonna be bad against elites, but you know, that's fine. A defensive deck just became way more viable, so that's a deck that runs, you know, let's think about like the easiest low-hanging fruit defensive cards of all time. Footwork, Noxious Fumes, etc. I really like Backstab. I gotta be honest, I really like Backstab, and I like the Backstab deck. I also really want an impactful card because I've got elites coming up. I think one of the big reasons I actually really like the Backstab deck is because so many people hate the Backstab deck. I should take a Cloak and Dagger as a value pick, but I'm still sad about it. Cursed with Doubt. Yeah, I really don't want to do that to myself. Gambling Chip at the start of each combat. Discard as many cards as you like and then draw that many. Sure. Well, if only I had the gambling chip, I'd be able to take the footwork and a card removal. Here we probably still go footwork, dagger spray. This deck is half aggressive, half defensive right now. I don't really like that. It's okay, it'll be fine. Okay. Yeah, I would have been one short on defense if I didn't play that last defend. And I am, in fact, going to be one short on defense this turn. No perfect for me. Just get back to that dagger spray as soon as possible. Dagger spray strike kills the frontliner here, so that's why I've been focusing on it. You'll see it pay off. I hate that I haven't generated my new deck yet, because that just put 2 days into the deck I was about to draw. Dagger spray strike. Double strike. Oh, this works too. Anchor, start each combat with 10 block. Alright, this is a... As much as I've been picking up, like, backstab, this is a defensive deck. I think I leave the backstab in my deck, just like lesson learnt. We go with footwork and cloak and dagger. We keep dagger spray just because we need some AoE in a deck. Like, that's just a thing that you kind of need to have. Remove another card from my deck, sure. Let's get a strike out of there. See, this is where you don't want to have removed a strike from your deck. Really? Well, at least we got aggressive cards in our next hand. I'm actually going to drink the Ancient Potion here to prevent the vulnerability that was going to incur. 11 block from a Survivor. It's actually probably worth playing there. Because I block 11 damage. Because it was going to block the... it blocks a full value anyway. It enrages the enemy for 2. So if the enemy has 5 more turns of life, it will then almost reach parity. Same with Cloak and Dagger in 3 more turns. Enemy doesn't even have another turn of life, so I can just defend as much as I'd like there. Prayer Wheel, non-boss chest now also contain cards, as well as a strength potion, and there's the Noxious Fumes. Alright, so this is already shaping up to be a much more defensive deck than I've run with the Silent recently. Pen Nib, every 10th attack you play deals double damage, as well as a bunch of cards I'm going to ignore. Because we immediately need to upgrade the Noxious Fumes and the footwork. So this is a kind of deck archetype that I ran a lot back when I was doing my... Hang on. This is a kind of deck archetype that I ran a lot back when I was doing my Ascension runs for the Silent, because it's the most reproducibly successful deck archetype that I found, at the very least, for my particular playstyle, importantly there. I'm trying to walk back a lot of my statements. Every single time I say something, basically after it, you should imagine that I also say, for my particular playstyle, in this particular situation, that kind of thing. Because it's not always going to be relevant to literally every single person and every single playstyle. Personally, for my playstyle, I found the most reproducible success in running a super defensive Noxious Fumes deck. Second copy of Footwork's totally fine. Like, this deck is really defensive. That kind of, like, defensive. I'm going to throw all of those because I want to get back to them, right? I should be able to perfect this fight, in fact. Shouldn't even be a problem to do so. Alright. Shouldn't be a problem to do so. This is an unfortunate draw for a shouldn't be a problem to do so. Oh well. And then we get a super defensive draw when our opponent is defending. And the enemy goes down. Happy Flower, every 3 turns gain energy, and we could actually take a Deadly Poison. Should do, in fact, as well. It's going to give us the ability to more specifically poison an enemy. Like, focus someone down a wee bit. Sure. This is really unfortunate. If I had either my strike or my deadly poison in this hand, I would be able to kill. And that would mean that next turn, which would occur in the boss fight, I would have extra energy. So my first turn in the boss fight would be with extra energy. That's really unfortunate that that draw was so bad there. We don't have enough energy to play expertise in this deck. We'll upgrade Neutralize because having weakness, especially against the Guardian, who attacks almost every single turn, is insane. Sorry, I just had to sneeze. Yeah, the Guardian attacks almost every single turn unless you stall against his standing up phase. So if you do it correctly, he attacks every single turn. So having weakness against him is super effective, especially because a lot of them are high damage attacks. Backstab Deadly Poison and getting my footwork out there. Actually, no, it should be Backstab Deadly Poison. We'll do our footworks later. Unfortunately, I can't footwork this turn, otherwise I'm going to miss out on my... No, footwork defend would have been fine! I'm a moron! Bugger! Okay. Well, I've got one of my footworks active now. Now I've got my second footwork active. Okay, and before you do this big hit, you're actually going to fall to the ground. Beautiful. Since this poison is just consistently building up, we are now entirely fine. Alright, well, we're going to perfect this fight. No, we're not. Oh, freak. Neutralize or defend in this hand would have been amazing. Okay, so hang on. Can I, with that strength potion, can I maintain my perfect here? So this would be 6 and 6 is 12. And then these would be 8 each, which is another 16. So 28 total. 28 is actually enough. Yeah. All right. So I actually need to do that in order to maintain my perfect. And then I just leave them. Beautiful. Whew. So this is rough. Glass Knife actually works really well with Pen Nib, right? You just line them up to activate together and then you Glass Knife for a ridiculous amount of damage, but that's not what this deck is. Thousand Guts also works really, really good with a degenerate deck, but that's also not what this deck is. This deck just builds a wall, sits behind it, and watches all of its enemies die. I'll actually take an Alchemize, but if I now get offered Sozu, I probably have to take that still. I didn't get offered Sozu. We do need the extra energy, especially because we have, 2 0-cost cards. This one's in our opening hand, so it's in our opening hand, courtesy of Ring of the Snake, with a bunch of other cards of higher costs. So I'm gonna always have another card that I want to play. And being able to play another defensive card, for me, a lot of the time, is going to be super strong. Like, it's going to outweigh the extra strength I give my enemies. Okay. Rest. There's only one 3 elite path. I should fight it. I just need to get all of my powers active as soon as possible in this deck. Okay. Damn, enemies still managed to get some damage through to me. How dare they? So we're pretty much just waiting on our poison getting through and moitering them. We need to cut more of these aggressive cards from our deck because they're just taking the place where I want defenses to be. That is such an inversion of how I normally speak. It's just too many damn aggressive cards in this deck. I saved myself so much HP by throwing that in. It's Catalyst. Yeah. No, I still have so many strikes that I need to remove, so I can't risk picking up something else that I need to remove. This is literally the worst fight you can have after you've picked up Philosopher's Stone, and it's just unfortunate. You don't really have much choice in it. Like, it just either happens or it doesn't, and you're either screwed or you aren't. Now, thankfully, I have a Dagger Spray available to me, so I can literally just put everyone on the ground. Unfortunately, my Noxious Fumes is on the very bottom of the deck, so I don't get to benefit as much as I would like from this. Well, now one of them's already dead. As soon as it hit the sky. Beautiful. I can now actually just wait for this bird to die. Gives me a chance to alchemize. It gives me the ability to hold onto my pen nib and for my happy flower to be ready in the start of the next fight. That's just really good. We'll take a blur, gain 8 block. Your block is not removed at the start of the next turn. That's actually going to be ridiculously good for us because obviously the dex from it is going to be upgraded from both of our footworks. But even more than that, we also have 10 block in the opening turn. So if we get blur, it's just going to be amazing in the opening turn. It already holds on to the anchor. I actually really want to take Caltrops, I gotta be honest with you, but if I take Caltrops, I've got 2 Footworks and a Noxious Fumes. If we take Caltrops, we're probably just going to be fighting the Awakened one next floor and they'll moiter us. And I don't really want to be moited. So we're going to card remove a basic strike out of our deck and then move on. Okay. So we apply 6 to you. You take 6 damage this turn. And you would take 5 damage next turn, but you also get 3, so... By doing this poison application, we mean we only have to throw 1 more hit into you until you die. Beautiful. And by making sure that that enemy died that turn, we prevented ourselves from being afflicted with the vulnerability, which would have just amped the damage from the other enemies ridiculously. Exceedingly unfortunate that I only had one defensive card in that hand. So obviously now what we're looking for is the specimen. The ability to pass off poison from a dead enemy to a living enemy. Regal Pillow, heal an additional 15 HP when you rest, as well as a dodge and roll, especially an upgraded one, immediately goes in our deck. Dodge and roll benefits twice from every point of Dex because Dex increases the power of each block, and it will increase the power of the block this turn and next turn. Actually, like, none of these. Yeah, we're just looking for our poisons as soon as we can get them. Actually going to throw out the Catalyst super early here as well. The Catalyst there was just 5 block, 5 poison, but that's fine. Let's get a regen potion going on. Especially since I already had 3 potions stacked. Finding any reasonable position to use a potion, even if not for its full effect, is fine. Because what if I finish this fight and get another potion? Then I'm just completely wasting it by not using it at all. So I might as well get some use out of it rather than no use out of it. Now, interestingly, if I actually just leave this enemy be and not attack it, it's going to start healing itself back up, like on this turn. I might be able to get some of my second regen potion off. Yep. Oh well. I got 3 triggers of it off. That's pretty good. Got a weak potion and dagger spray. I already have 1. Like, I would consider the backflip, but I don't really want it. Don't have the energy to really utilize it. Things I want to upgrade are the 2 footworks, the deadly poison, and the catalyst. Actually, you know what? We have 2 more elites, and then we have the boss. So let's get this catalyst up, because it's a super impactful card. Lantern, gain energy on the first turn of each combat. That's actually really big for us. None of those cards, though. Thank you very much. You probably don't need to be told why the Lantern's really big for us, but because we're drawing 2 extra cards at the start turn, courtesy of the Ring of the Snake, we will be able to cast more. We'll actually use a Strength Potion in this fight, because this fight's really annoying. Just because both of these kind of race you in a way. And we play a lot of skills, and they're just going to trash our deck for doing so. A lot of skills and a lot of powers as well, in fact. Right. Take 2 damage this turn rather than the weakness potion. Well, I know you can't do another 22 next turn because you can't do the same attack 3 times in a row. Should have done that in the opposite order, by the way. The pen nib would have activated on the attack that was doing higher damage. Dodge and roll and blur. We'll just cast both of those. Yeah, because I was pretty much expecting this turn to be how it was. And then we're done. Yeah, but these enemies get worse the longer you fight them, so... And our deck fights for a long time. It's kind of its point. Bouncing Flask is actually interesting. I don't think I take it in this deck. I think between Deadly Poison and Noxious Fumes, I've got my poison covered. I don't want a Bouncing Flask. An upgraded backflip, though, I mean, now that it's upgraded, I might take one. And, in fact, did. Cool. I'm going to be using Catalyst pretty much as my finisher in this fight. So I'm going to get my poison potion out there as early as I possibly can. The small hits that I get from my strike are going to be basically nothing compared, so... Yep. Alright, I think we actually perfected that one as well. Vajra at the start of each combat, gain 1 strength. And another deadly poison. Currently, we do not have a Highlander deck, because we have the second copy of Footwork. I really want a Highlander deck, though. So I'm not going to take the deadly poison. And I'm going to look to remove the second duplicated card in your deck. Come on. I should duplicate the blur. This is unfair. Alright, well, now we're not doing a Highlander deck anymore, so I, at this point, should have retroactively not done what I just did. That was a pretty good opening turn for us. Okay. Prioritize defense over offense there. Well, the back line is just going to die eventually. So he'll actually invest some focus in bringing about the doom of the frontliners. Let's just use the artifacting potion to get it out of our deck. Oh, never mind. My bad. Here I thought I was removing the artifacting potion. Evidently what I was doing was just bolstering its position. Beautiful. Yeah, Catalyst is still in there. I'm actually going to hold on to the strike because Catalyst is going to be in the next hand, so the Gremlin Leader is already dead. I don't need to worry. Perfect amount of poison as well. So I get to hold my pen nib for later. Dreamcatcher, whenever you rest, you may add a card to your deck. Second backstab? It's not. Like, it's 1000% not, because this shouldn't be a backstab deck, but still. I really wish it was. Alright, well, here what I do is... like, hard mulligan. Yeah. That's not what I wanted. I was hard mulliganing looking for the dagger spray. I'm actually going to use my draw here as well. Hey, we got it. Because that was 60 damage. Pretty good. I mean, maybe that's just me, but I feel 60 damage pretty good.
It's spicy guacamole.
Alright, well, I want to hold on to as much defense for the next turn as possible. So we will take an enemy out. Time to alchemize, get another garbage potion. What did I do to offend? Mm-hmm. Okay. That. Sure. Backline is dead next turn. Frontliner is dead. Beautiful. Could have thrown a few extra attacks in there to charge up the pendant, by the way. Should have done that. Still not going to take the next deadly poison. I really do have to upgrade this deadly poison, upgrade the alchemize, upgrade those footworks. Let's get this deadly poison first. I think it's going to be more necessary and impactful immediately in this fight. Alright, let's get our powers active as soon as we can. I don't think we catalyst after the deadly poison just for 14 poison right now. I think we need to wait. I will drink, in fact, both of these ancient potions. Big part of why we did that is because this guy has a debuff that's actually really harsh. Strike does nothing right now, even if I cast it. But that face slap was going to make us vulnerable and I think frail as well. And frail is not a good look for us. That was a really great defensive turn. It was great that turn, and it's going to keep us defended for a bunch of turns after. So you've still got 7 poison. I still need to build up more on you before I'm comfortable to catalyst. That said, I'm not going to pass down the ability to weaken you because I've got Blur active for the next 3 turns. So the less damage you do right now, the more damage I get to hold on to. Come on, give me some blurs. Alright, 27. Do I want to do it yet? No. I think I cycle through the deck once more before I use my next catalyst. Because if I do it right now, he'll get into the range to purge it, and then he'll purge it and he won't die. If I wait long enough, there is a chance that I hold it until he's not yet about to purge, and then it's active for so long that he, or rather it does so much damage that he can't purge it. We'll see. I wouldn't have another shovel after that. Yeah, so he's going to try and purge it this turn. And he does, but he's left with very little HP. Like, kind of an embarrassingly pitiful amount of HP. 36 incoming damage, we kill. I believe that means I perfected the first 2 fights now. So we're getting close to a beyond perfect here. Poison Potion's actually a really, really great potion for us, specifically because we have the Catalyst, so at any time we can just choose to bump up that Catalyst multiplier a bunch. Corpse Explosion is a poison synergy card, but it's just not that good. It just really isn't. Enemy loses all poison, deal damage equal to twice the amount lost to all enemies. But the thing is, our Noxious Fumes is already dealing poison damage in an AoE. Just not that good. Now, unfortunately here, the correct choice is Runic Dome. Because a lot of people get annoyed when I pick up Runic Dome. I'm sorry about it, but it is the correct choice for this deck. If Runic Dome was changed so that it's kind of more viewer-friendly, I'd be cool with that, but ignoring it and going for something else would then be called a misplay and anger other people. So I'm kind of, you know, rocking a hard place right now. Yeah, there's the Awakened one. As soon as I had 3 powers in my deck, I knew I was going to see him. I can see a 2 elite path. Yeah, I can see a maximum 2 elite path. That's rough. So one of the big reasons that Runic Dome is ridiculously powerful for us in this deck is because we already, like, harshly block everything, which means it really doesn't matter what our opponent is doing, we were going to block everything anyway. Think of it like this. There's rarely, with this deck, going to be a situation where I don't play the same cards I was going to play anyway, because I can see my enemy's intent. Like there, I didn't have the opportunity to play any different cards anyway, so it wouldn't have changed how I played. With decks that are super defensive or super aggressive, like where you're effectively playing solitaire and you're asking an enemy to watch, that's where you really want Runic Dome. Alternatively, if you're familiar enough with a game, the downside of Runic Dome doesn't actually affect you because you can pretty much tell what they're going to be doing. We should just take another Catalyst here, shouldn't we? Yeah. It's unfortunate, but I'll take the Manuses because I really don't want to Writhe in the deck. I actually want to keep those. So we're going to be fine for this first turn. It's just since we don't have, you know, straight up and down damage here. Fights like the Orb Walkers. In fact, the dual Orb Walker elite fight is going to be like one of the roughest things that we can deal with. Or rather, one of the roughest things that we might have to deal with. Because I don't know if we can deal with it. Too much to pay for that relic, and we might have shops later on. Glowing Tesseract. All right. Now, let's think about it. What cards would I take? I'd probably still take a Apotheosis with this deck. In fact, I definitely would. Would I take Panache? Probably not. I do play 5 cards a turn, but it's another way to upgrade my enemy. So I probably wouldn't take Panache. What 0 cost cards would I take? Like the ones that have no effect on your hand size, like Secret Weapon, Secret Technique. Secret Technique actually would be amazing. I really can't afford to lose that much HP. I'm actually just going to do one. Yeah. Probably Blind. I've got to be honest here. Another weakness course in my deck is actually going to be quite good. I'll take it. Okay, so this is the one that I read out a while ago, but they used to give you the lore for the opposite creature. Like when you played the Ironclad, you would get the lore for the Silent, and I think then when you played the Silent, you would get the lore for the Silent as well. So I think they've now fixed that. The Ironclad encountering the Sensory Stone would probably get more Ironclad lore. So I'm going to wait until I encounter it with the Ironclad, but I'll read it again because I haven't read it in a while. Triumph. The remains of a ghostly creature sinks slowly into the mud before you, barely visible in the moonlight. You've proven yourself amongst your sisters. Standing victoriously, you wait in silence as the others ceremoniously place the creature's skull atop your head. The ritual has concluded. You head towards Spire, Marowak, and it is time to go in here. Beautiful. Upgrade the Catalyst. The Catalysts are going to be how we beat enemies like this. Probably don't need the Neutralize, actually. Let's start regenerating. Even if we don't get the full value out of it, it's still fine. All right, got both Madnesses out of my deck there. Quite happy about it. Make sure to play all of the non-attack cards first. Let's go through our deck like 1 or 2 more times before we start throwing the catalysts out there. Beautiful. Glad you didn't attack that turn because it didn't really have a course of action to deal with it. Right. Drop that first catalyst because by the time we get the next one, we are going to be well and truly prepared. Ow. Didn't want to take damage there, but I did. Still have to play the Survivor last there. Can't play all of my stuff before the Survivor. Or rather, have to play everything before the Survivor. Can't play my attack last because the Survivor would then want to discard that attack. Alright. Old coin, gain 300 gold. Don't mind if I do. A lot of cards I don't want. Every time I smith a new card here, the Apotheosis is getting worse if it does end up showing up. Art of War, if you don't play any attacks during your turn, gain an extra energy next turn. That's actually quite likely to be effective for us. Probably take a Bouncing Flask because it's immediately offered as an upgrade, and we have a second catalyst in the deck. Alright, second Footwork. Given the amount of blocks we typically play in a turn, that's going to be fine against the final boss anyway. Alright, let's get all these exhaustive cards out of our hand. Cool. So I just wanted the Madnesses not to activate on cards that exhaust. So that's why I wanted to use my... Hang on. So, figure out this turn. That's why I wanted to make sure that I used my... What's it called? The thing that gives you the thing? Alchemize. There we go. That's why I wanted to make sure that I used my Alchemize first, so that I wouldn't get the Alchemize cost reduced when this is typically going to be a fight where I am actually going to cycle back through my whole deck. So Alchemize, I'm not going to benefit from the cost reduction more than once because it already is gone. Same with Powers. Any card that you only play once, in fact. It's just a tragedy when a Madness hits another Madness as well. Alright, good. Looks like we're going to take no damage in this fight. Give me... Catalyst. Beautiful. We've got Happy Flower and Pen Nib ready for the first turn of the next turn. First turn of the next turn. First turn of the next fight. I really want to go for another Elite, but 2 shops when I have 880 gold. I mean, come on. Snecko Skull. Like, this is why. Whenever you apply a poison, apply 1 additional poison. Don't mind if I do. I would usually take Sadistic Nature in a deck like this, but it's another power, and I don't want to play more powers against the final boss on this floor. Get another strike out of here. Starting to think maybe I actually want to pick up a poison potion here. Yeah. Yeah. We'll actually buy a poison potion because then I can just kind of like quickly rig a... Hang on. Good. With that, I will be able to quickly rig a early catalyst on an enemy. Obviously not right now. Not against this enemy. I'm talking, of course, against the Elite. The Snecko Skull is also ridiculous, right? 1 more poison every single time I apply poison. With Bouncing Flask in particular, that's going to be ridiculous. Yeah. Goodbye, everyone. Fuck it. Let's go mad. It's the singing bowl and I can't... I shouldn't. Well, I mean, I should definitely take the paper crane. And a card removal. Increase the consistency with which I draw the paper crane. And you know what? You're coming along for the ride, singing bowl. I love you that much. Also going to drop a strength potion and pick up a weakness potion for this final fight so that I can guarantee that the paper crane's weakness is pretty much always active. So I'll upgrade one of the madnesses. So if I get both of the madnesses in the same hand, I can play the one that is cost reduced. I can play the one that's cost reduced or the one that's not cost reduced because they won't hit one another. Well, Catalyst is 0, but it's fine. I have 3 Catalysts in this deck, actually. Let's start getting that Awakened one down ridiculously early here. Awakened one, form number 1 down. Beautiful. Good part of the reason why I did that is because now I can actually play the rest of my powers in peace. We're going to use an energy potion here because getting to play all of these is so damn important. Also going to throw a weaken potion on the back line. Because now these frontliners have been out on the field for long enough that I really do need to start weakening them. Unfortunately, I've already taken damage in this fight. That was... I'm not certain that was entirely avoidable. I definitely don't need to use that catalyst yet. Got a wee bit more time to let that set up. Ugh, double void, yikes. Alright, I don't want to go through my whole deck again to get to it, because by then, the enemy's just going to die if I play it now. I'll even use my energy potion to throw an extra stab this turn. Because it means without that much extra energy, I might be able to kill you this turn. Nope. Unfortunately, just short by 4 damage. You're definitely dead this turn, though, buddy. Extremely dead. Slightly over 45 minutes, unfortunately, so I didn't get that score bonus. And I also didn't get the Highlander score bonus. I also didn't get beyond perfect because I took damage in that final fight. Damn it! My score was so close to being amazing, and then it was just not at all. For the moment, though, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Slay the Spire. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time, Jacinta.